Good evening and welcome to Just a Little Bit. And believe me, just a little bit is just what it is. Just a little bit of news from the entire African diaspora. News from black newspapers from around the world. And we're going to start this week's segment off coming from Destination Sistrunk right here in the heart of Broward County, Fort Lauderdale, where everything is good in the hood. And Just a Little Bit is brought to you by Destination Sistrunk. Fort Lauderdale Convention and Visitors Bureau. We just want to say thank you. And this bit of news for just a little bit is we are saddened over the passing of one of the stalwart pioneers of this city and a beloved member of our family, Miss Dorothy Dillard. We lovingly call her Aunt Dot, and she's known to everybody as Aunt Dot. Aunt Dot has been the face of the West Side Gazette. She was the first person that you met when you opened the door. She greeted you with a smile and open arms. And this was way before COVID, so she actually gave you a hug. Aunt Dot is going to be sure enough missed. I can remember as a little boy when my mother passed. My aunt took the place of my mother, and she helped my daddy to raise my four sisters and my brother and myself. So it is with a sad heart on one side, but believing in the resurrection gives us joy. So Aunt Dot, we are certainly going to miss you. We know that you are in heaven with Mama and Aunt Mott, and y'all are talking up a storm. You have some good things to talk about. So we certainly say we love you and God bless you. And then we have the passing of Vernon Jordan. Vernon Jordan was a staunch member of the NAACP. He worked with several presidents on both sides of the aisle, with the Republicans as well as the Democrats. So Brother Jordan, we're going to miss you. Now, in some, I guess you can call it some light news, one of our youth reporters, Miss Joy Nails, did a story on a local athlete who set a record at Albany State. Miss Sydney Blackburn, who's a freshman, she set a record in throwing the disc. Sydney is from Fort Lauderdale, and Joy Nails is also, well, she got to be from Fort Lauderdale if she's writing for us, but she attends Fort Lauderdale High School. And so she did the story bringing us to the awareness of this Albany State, an HBCU athlete who has set yet another record. And then Attorney Benjamin Crump is in the news again, positively in the news. We all know Attorney Ben Crump for his fighting in the civil rights arena for the injustices poured upon black men and black families from a racist, should I say, legal system, from the police to the courtrooms. And Ben, as well as Miss Sherilyn Eiffel, are named the two top black attorneys in the country. So congratulations to you, Ben and Miss Eiffel. Okay. Now, as it pertains to monies, some funds, this is Women's History Month, so it's only appropriate that this next story talks about a situation coming out of Miami where there's a community fund of North Dade that's giving money to women-owned businesses. Yep, the loan program for black women-owned businesses. Okay, so that's that bit of news there. And let me say this, congratulations to all of the women, not only during Women's Month, and I really want to say Black Women Month, but I'm stuck on that, but women in general. You're such a godsend, and we thank you. So to all the women, congratulations. West Side Gazette celebrated 50 years of service to the community. Again, it was a tearjerker as well as a good time for all. I just want to read something that I penned to remind me of the moment. Recognizing and giving honor, reflecting on the recent celebration of the 50th anniversary of the West Side Gazette, I am so humbled, forgiving, and joyous of every word spoken on behalf of the combining of accolades and salutations bestowed upon our family. We meant it from our souls when we said, "It is because of you that we are." Thank you. The walk through our history reassured us that the honor of those who came before us will continue to be recognized and celebrated for the invaluable services of their great contributions, and their stories captured, affirmed, and magnified our existence as a people of credibility who contributed to this once unpleasant place. It humbled me like a punch to my stomach, but the hurt and pain brought tears of joy to the commemoration of the souls gone that lay witness to our brilliancy. For those who could still convey verbal recordings of our triumphs and treasures of our pains and tragedies, to hear and see our history written in the brows and wrinkles on the faces, I bow in submission, paying homage and offering that my father and my mother would be more fitting than I to draw from the well of the history of the West Side Gazette instead of me. Still in awe, I remembered that our mother and our father were part of this rich history. Those of us who are benefactors of our pioneers are left to tell our story and not leave it in the hands of some who may have chosen to forget the intricate details. Our cry for help, which emanates from the cradle to the grave, must not fall upon deaf ears only to be cast down on unfertile ground. Like unfinished masterpieces, we are waiting to be completed by the artists whose hands have been chosen by God to fulfill his purpose. Our sojourn in this barren land has been comforted with sweet caressing sounds of, "I shall never leave you alone nor forsake you. I shall be with you always." Driven like a mother's instinct to answer the cries of her baby, we are called to answer, comfort, and carry on to birth and rear our own to our full potential. I love the Lord. He heard my cry and pitied every groan. As long as I live and trouble arise, I shall hasten to his throne. Thank you for giving us our flowers while we yet live. 40 on the 40. 40 on the 40 is 40 seconds on the history, faith, strength, and endurance of black people. We implore you to find out more about these historians, black women, black men, black children, black people. In this week's 40 on the 40, this black woman makes history as the first to run Medicare's $700 billion health care program. Chiquita Brooks LaSure has been chosen by President Joe Biden to lead the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This means that she will become the first black woman to serve as the agency's administrator, once confirmed by the Senate. The National Health Insurance Program spends almost $600 billion to $700 billion a year. Right on, sister. Chiquita Brooks. Okay, good evening again and welcome back to the Sankofa moment. The word Sankofa means to go back to the past in order to move forward. It comes from the Twa language, which is from Ghana. And our guest today is Mr. Johnnie Dixon. Now, Johnnie Dixon is the president of the ILA, and that's the International Longshoremen's Association, and it's local 1526. So join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Johnnie Dixon Jr.
Man, everything is fine, Bobby, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I appreciate you for inviting me, brother.
You know, Johnnie, this is supposed to be the Sankofa moment where, and usually we deal with people that are a lot older than you are.
Right.
But because of your responsibilities and what you do and the history that you have here, you can fit right into this moment.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what you do. What is being the president of the ILA local union, local number 1526? What does that mean, Johnnie?
Well, It actually means a lot to this community because the International Longshoreman has been around for so many years in the African American community. We were chartered in, I want to say, 1939, and since then we have brought stability to the labor market. Our members have always made competitive wages, great benefits. We're able to retire with dignity and respect with their pensions. And a lot of the entrepreneurs, business owners you see within this community today, their parents at one time were longshoremen. So we're well aware that in our community, most of our grandparents' parents didn't receive high school educations, but with their wages, they were able to send their kids off to college and provide a middle-class lifestyle for those families.
Yeah. I can remember, man, longshoremen, they were hard-working men, but like you said, they took care of their family. You have a history in that union. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I have a history. I was introduced to the longshoreman through my father, Johnnie Dixon Jr., which he was a casual laborer. He would go down and work on the ships, pick up odd jobs, during the weekends, throughout the week as a casual, and he introduced me to the industry. I would say that would have been the late 90s, 99, 2000s when I got introduced to the industry.
And Johnnie, now, what historically presidents have been much older than you.
Yes.
What makes you so different that body decided to elect you as the president?
I would say a reason for the change, for my membership believing in me to lead our local. They were looking for change, looking to take our local to the next level. Somewhere along the line, our membership felt like we got stagnated, and we didn't continue to move the chains. And when you're part of a labor organization, you constantly have to look to advance, look to increase jobs, also fight for benefits. So that's what I believe my membership saw in me. I'm humbled that they did elect me to become president.
I know that the longshoremen, they do a lot in the community.
Right.
What is one of the most proudest thing what is one of the things that you're most proudest of you all doing?
It's quite a few things that I'm excited to talk about that our local participates in. We organize voters drives. We get out in the community during election seasons to try to organize our community to get out and vote, because that's the only way you're going to really make a difference is showing up to the polls. You can't just talk about it. You have to actually be about it. You have to get out, rally the community to get individuals to the polls to actually make change within your community.
Now, I've seen some 18-wheelers down there with pallets of food, and so what's that all about? I know y'all ain't eating it all.
Right. Okay, that was our annual Thanksgiving Day drive that we usually do, where we provide full meals for about 350 to 450 family members. Families, where they will receive a ham, turkey, stuffing, collard greens, a full meal. We were able to supply that many meals through our partners within the community who also contribute to that Thanksgiving Day drive that we.
Yeah, and I also know that I know y'all don't brag about this. Y'all don't blow your horn about this, but the way that you come and rally around your members who have lost loved ones who. I've seen this with my own eyes. So there's a family connection there. But Johnnie, let me just. What does it take to become a longshoreman?
A lot of persistence, a lot of determination. Actually, my first experience coming to that union hall at 440 Northwest 6th Trunk. I'm a very confident person, but my first time walking in that building to see 350, actually seeing about 500 individuals looking for jobs. And that day I didn't get a job. I came home, I told my father, I said, this not for me. It's not for me. My father stayed on me and said, man, listen, just stick with it. Keep coming. And the funny thing is the day that was in 1999, we're in 2021. And I look at the young guys who come into the industry today. I look them right now, and I tell them, you got to keep coming. Don't give up. Apply yourself. The cream rises to the top.
You and I were talking, and you were telling me about your travels and how what you're doing here, you're trying to bring it to places that need it. You want to share a little bit about that?
Definitely, I would talk about that. You know, we all understand that as African Americans, usually we have been slighted when it comes down to pay wages. Blacks usually receive less wages than whites would receive. But being a president of a union, you have an opportunity to actually get out and lobby for your members, lobby to make sure that they're making competitive wages and they have decent working conditions. And we reach out to our Caribbean brothers and sisters to also assist them with organization drives so that they can have the same stability that we have in the States.
And that reaching out included going to that place.
Right, right. Yeah, we and during Hurricane Dorian, our brothers down in Freeport got smashed by Hurricane Dorian. That was a devastating storm. I want to say it sat over that island for about 2 days. My members came to me and say, JD, you know, I think we need to look out for the dock workers down in Freeport. First member came to me, I kind of thought, yeah, that's a good idea. But after the second, third, fourth, I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and do something. So we partnered with our employers in the ports. They supplied the containers, also took care of the shipping. So if you fill the containers up, we'll get them down to Freeport with no charge. Our international got involved, which they gave us our first contribution of $50,000 towards that relief effort. We ultimately collected about close to $100,000. We filled 2 containers full of generators, air beds, laundry supplies, everything that a family could need during a devastating time like that.
Wow, man, that's to be commendable. And Johnny, I know you have reached out. We have reached out to solicit your help, and you have. I know you did some stuff with Mount Olive. You did some stuff all around the community.
Right.
And I don't know how. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, hardworking men share their hard-earned money.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, and for people to think that black men don't take care of their families or longshoremen don't, that is one of the most significant falsehoods that I've heard about longshoremen. I mean, you know, that they don't. That's a lie. Let me get rid of that.
Right.
My question to you is, what are 3 of the things that you want to see done during your leadership?
One of the most important things that I would like to see during my tenure as president, I would like to see every employer within Port Everglades use ILA labor. We talk about jobs, creating jobs, but what kind of jobs are we creating? Are these competitive jobs? We know if you're employing ILA labor, we know these are quality jobs. These men and women are making competitive wages and have great benefits. That's one of the things that I would like to see done. Another thing that I would like to see done, I would also like to see our union hall progress along with the rest of the construction that's going on within our community. I don't want to see our local get left behind. The final thing that I would like to see ILA Local 1526 is for us to be a true power player in the community, because we are a powerful black organization within our community. I feel we can do a lot more. We could also, we do have the influence to create that social change that's needed within our community.
Well, Mr. Dixon, I think you got your work cut out for you, but I know you're capable of doing it. So I want to congratulate you, Johnny, on the progress that I've seen you made, and I'm hoping, well, I'm praying that you continue to do it, because Lord knows we need it.
Oh yeah, thank you, Brother Henry. I've always respected you from a kid. From a kid, I know you. You probably don't think I remember you, but I always remember everything. Hey man, that's Bobby Henry.
I remember that part.
That's my ace, boom, coon.
There
That's
you
what my
go.
dad
Thank
would
you.
always tell me. But man,
Okay.
Bobby, I've always respected you, and we're avid supporters of the West Side Gazette, and we'll continue to be supporters of the West Side Gazette.
Thank you, my
Thank
brother.
you, Bobby. I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate you, Johnny. Welcome back. All right, we're about to wind it up on just a little bit, and this segment is called What's Up, where we get a chance to discuss things in the community. And we got a young lady here who is very active in the film industry. Cathleen Dean is her name, so please help me bring Kathleen to the stage. Good evening, Miss Dean, and how are you?
Good evening. I'm doing well, thank you.
Miss Kathleen, where are you from originally?
So I was born and raised in Peekskill, New York.
Peekskill?
Peekskill, New York, yes. It's in Westchester County, about an hour north of Manhattan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little Hudson River town.
Hudson River town.
Yeah.
What's a Hudson River town?
It's, along the Hudson River.
Oh,
There are all these quaint little towns in New
Mhm.
York. So Peekskill is where I...
so is that where you develop your eye for film and the like, as I should say?
That's a good question.
Mhm.
Where did I develop my eye for film? It was probably, maybe it started there. It's a beautiful, picturesque town with an amazing history.
Mm-hmm.
When Paul Robeson came to town, the riot broke out. I don't know if you are familiar with
No,
that. Sort of put Peekskill on the map.
No,
for
that
me.
you got me on that one. No, you got me on that one. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
that was a very famous incident that took place
Hmm.
in Peekskill's history.
See, now you're gonna make me go back and do some research on that, Miss Dean. Now, I didn't have enough room on my tablet to list all of your accolades and all that you do and you have done. But one of the things that I'm quite interested in is this 48-hour film. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, sure. So I've been producing this festival called the 48-Hour Film Project for over 10 years. It's an international filmmaking competition where local filmmakers get together, they make a movie in 2 days. We have a series of film screenings and film winner is selected, and then our organization sends that person to our international competition, and out of that we pick 10 filmmakers to send to the Cannes International Film Festival, which is like the preeminent film festival in the world. So it's an activity that allows for storytellers to develop. When I came on as producer of the film festival, I felt that the community, the sense of community was missing, so I started to incorporate a number of events to bring people together and to also teach them filmmaking skills. I had taught video production at Nova, Southeastern University, for 7 years, so I would incorporate workshops, help put people together, because it takes quite a few people to produce a film. And it's just become an annual rite of passage event for creatives in the community. We've had some amazing artists participate. People have gone on to craft out careers for themselves in the industry based on starting off at the 48-Hour Film Project. They've formed partnerships and gone on to produce other films together. So outside of that annual event, it's, it cultivated community and careers for people.
Okay, so now cultivating the community. So community folk can actually get involved. You don't have to be a professional. You can just
No, you don't have to be a
So
professional.
I can grab my camera and just
Absolutely. You can grab your camera, you can sign up on our website, come to our events, and then on the filmmaking weekend, it happens on a Friday night. We have a kickoff event. This is how we know the films were made in the 48-hour time period.
Okay.
So the filmmakers gather. We did it virtually last year because of COVID. We give them a couple of elements that they have to incorporate into their film. So that's how we know it was done in that weekend.
Okay.
So we give them a line of dialogue, a character, and a prop, and they pick a genre out of a hat. And then from that point on, they have 48 hours to write it, shoot it, score it, edit it, and turn it back in.
Wow, is there an age limit to this?
No, there is no age limit. We've had filmmakers as young as maybe 5 years old participating that I can remember,
Wow.
and as old as I don't
Never
know.
mind. Let that go. Let that go. Oh, so I was going over some stuff here. The it was a film, Chick, Sunshine Chick.
Sunshine Chic.
Chic. I'm sorry.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
dug that up. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So Sunshine Chic is a documentary film that I made with my filmmaking partner, Chitachi Agu, where we followed some local fashionistas in South Florida, and got inside their heads and learned about their style, and brought it to the screen.
Wow. You thought I was kidding about not putting. You've done a lot. I mean, you just did. You came. You grew into this. Tell us a little bit about your growth.
Sure. So I started off as a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for CBS Radio in New York City, and I also started off with I'm probably dating myself, but the McNeil Lair News Hour. I was Charlene Hunter Galt's assistant for a short period of time.
Charlene Hunter Galt.
You might have heard about her in the news today because they were mentioning that Virgin Jordan walked her
Right.
across the
What was
the
that? What's
line.
this place? Martha's Vineyard. She had a place up there. Her daughter is an artist of anyway, collecting stuff and making art out of stuff. But anyway, yeah. So you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so
I'm intrigued.
I had the privilege of working
Mhm.
with her for a short period of time while I was there.
Mhm.
I left McNeil Lair News Hour and I went to work for CBS Radio, and I got a little jaded with
Mm.
news.
Mhm.
And then I went into the nonprofit world, and I took a job at an organization called Today's Students, Tomorrow's Teachers, and it was a mentoring organization. So we went into schools and we mentored young people who wanted to become teachers. We kind of brought them along from high school through college into the profession. So I did that for a few years, and I think I was writing. I would wake up in the middle of the night and a story would come to me, and I just wrote over the years, and I collected my stories. And it wasn't until I moved to South Florida that I met this independent filmmaking community. And I was able to kind of dust off some of the screenplays that I had written in my spare time
Mhm.
and connect with this group of creatives who were like, let's do it. And, very much started guerrilla style.
Mhm.
And it just kind of evolved from there. I fell in love with the art of filmmaking and just decided to pursue that heavily.
And award-winning filmmaker, I might add. So what are you doing now, Miss Dean?
So right now, I just accepted a position as the Director of Arts and Theater Performance for the new L.A. Lee YMCA Mizell Community Center.
Hmm. And what will be your first project there?
My first project. So I'm working on that right now. We
Mhm.
are putting together a virtual series. Our doors probably won't open until August, September. So I started putting together a virtual series to highlight some of the talent in the community. It's called What's in the Box, because a little play on words, because I'll be running this black box theater.
Mhm.
So we have an artist call out now, and we're looking for poets, singers, spoken word artists, musicians to submit their work to us so that we can sort of celebrate them and also explore what can happen in this facility.
Mm-hmm. Sounds very interesting. How are you getting the word out about what's in the box?
So we have a group of wonderful people from the community who are our ambassadors,
Mhm.
who are helping to spread the word. They're calling arts organizations. We're on social media. We've been emailing people. The usual channels.
Okay.
Oh, did we miss one very important channel? Okay, got to correct that. We need to put the call out in the West Side Gazette.
Oh, you're so. If you were a young man, your mother would have called you son because you're so bright. Kathleen, I'm serious. No, no, this is remarkable, and I must commend you on what you're doing. You got your work cut out for you, but it's nothing new to you. This is second nature, if you will. Hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to, to bring what I've been doing in the film industry, cultivating talent and helping to uplift them, bring that energy into the Black Box Theater here, and hopefully find the next Beyonce or the next Jay-Z or the next star on any level. We're going to have a whole comprehensive arts program going on. We're going to have photography, film, fine arts, performing arts. So.
There's enough room for everybody. So yeah. Is there anything that we missed that we want to get out here?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do want to talk about a documentary that I have in the works right now. It's a work in progress. It's called "Wade in the Water: Drowning in Racism." This is my passion project right now. It came together. I had joined an organization called Diversity in Aquatics a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was heavily into working out. That's changed. But I was working out and I got this idea that I was going to train for a triathlon. So I needed to up my swimming game. So I started swimming with this amazing group called Diversity in Aquatics. And through that organization, I was exposed to the International Swimming Hall of Fame, and the director there, a guy named Bruce Wygo, had an art exhibition that chronicled the history of swimming in the African diaspora. This is a white dude. When I went to the Swimming Hall of Fame, he's like, Africans were the preeminent swimmers in the world. They taught the Europeans how to swim. And he had it on the wall in beautiful art, detailing from, the beginning of time through modern history to the Olympic swimmers. And I was fascinated with this story and, wanted to learn more. And later on, I was working on a film project, and I was going through the Wolfson archives, and I came across this incredible archival footage of the wade-ins that took place here in South Florida. And I decided to put it together. So I started to interview some people on the history of swimming and the battles that were waged here to desegregate the beaches and the swimming pools. And also talk about the historical connection that Black people have had to the water. And also we're exploring the healing properties of water.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that's a passion project because I have 3 goals with this film. One is to debunk stereotypes that Black people don't swim. The second goal is to change the culture, to encourage more people of color to take advantage of the access we now have to the water. And, the third is the most important. Swimming saves lives. Mm-hmm. So it's for drowning prevention, to encourage more people to learn how to swim. It's an important life-saving skill.
Mm-hmm. I can engage you on several instances of what you just mentioned, starting from the Hall of Fame. I was one of the first Blacks to ever swim in that pool. One of the first. And the history of swimming as it relates to Broward County, city of Fort Lauderdale. I'm not sure of the people that you've spoken to, but you got some people who were the first still alive, thank God, that actually broke the color barrier when it came to lifeguards on the beach of Fort Lauderdale, when it came to Sunland Park, David Deal played there and all the swimming, Lamati. Where did Nadine go? She left. But anyway, we should have a conversation.
We should talk because this is a work in progress.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing is showing a little snippet of the film to raise money so that we can continue to interview.
You and I got to talk. We got to, Kathleen. We got to talk. Off the tape. Off the tape. We got to talk. So, let's wrap this up. Wading in, what's the name of it?
Wade in the water, drowning in racism.
Okay. That water is not too deep. We can do it. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. And we're going to continue this conversation.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Miss Cathleen Dean, for coming by just a little bit. Okay.